Hello, it's LA coming at you with another video today. My last video was talking about my boring summer reading, and like I said in that video, I wanted to redeem myself because no avid reader, no book lover should have to spend her entire 8 weeks of summer reading boring stuff. It's just something that's not right about that. So, uh, towards the end of August, the class that I was in ended about August 16th. Now, what else was I doing during the month of August besides taking that class? I was also looking for a house for my family and I to move in. We've been living in an apartment for 5 years, and being grown, married with children, 5 years in an apartment is just way too long, especially when you have little furry friends like Pepper. Oh, look, she don't like being on camera. Pepper, say hi. See, Pepper? This is my little terrier mix. So, I have her, and then my daughter's dog has been here off and on for the last 2 years of her college career. So, apartment living just gets old. So anyway, I was looking for a house, found a house. I was supposed to be closing on August 30th, so I started packing up probably about the beginning of August. And I have a very huge book collection. So I figured it would be easier to start with the books because they weren't being used. They were just taking up space in my hall closets and part of my bedroom closet as well. So I started packing up my books, and of course, first thing I said was, okay, I'm going to get rid of some of these books. But as you know, as book lovers, it's really hard to part with books, even the books that you've already read. So I probably have a good 5 books in my collection that I've read that I don't want to get rid of because I just really love those books. I don't generally reread books, but it's just something about a really good book as a writer. They just move me in a certain way. I love the way they were written. I loved how the characters were developed. The story just really grabbed me. And I've read a lot of books. But out of the tons of books that I've read, like I said, I only have about 5 of them that I read and just don't want to get rid of. So I came across the books that I hadn't read. Some of them I'm like, you're not going to read these. My mother is a book collector. So a lot of times I pick up books from her like, oh, this is a good one, I'll take this, and still don't read it. So once I made the decision, okay, packing up is not a good time to try to, clear out your books because, it just would make the process even longer. So anyway, as I was going through my books, I came across this book, Ida B., a novel by Karen E. Quinones Miller. I'm probably saying her middle name or her last name wrong, but she is always near and dear to my heart as an author. This was probably about her 4th book or so, but her very first book was called Satin Doll, and about 10 years ago, if not more, I had started a book club with a group of people that I worked with. Matter of fact, it was definitely more than 10 years ago, more like 15 years ago. And we read her book, Satin Doll. It was a great book, great discussion. So that was the only book of hers that I read, but I came across this, and I believe I picked it up as a Barnes & Noble bargain book. But I just never quite got in the mood to read it. So I decided I would read this book. And when I initially read it, it wasn't like, I need to read a book this summer, I need to read a book this summer. But that's what it turned into, because I'm like, okay, you've been reading these thick project management books, doing these study guide questions, and blah, 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 boring, boring, boring. I'm like, I needed to read something, just to speak to my creative writing, my fiction soul, my first love of just, reading the lives of others. And so this book, Ida B, you would think it was about a person. I thought it was about a person, and I thought this person was Ida B. All the times when I would look at the book. But the Ida B was actually a building, kind of in New York, because she's a New Yorker, so her books are generally set in New York. And it was just about a group of residents. They almost remind me of Good Times, but they were kind of lower income people, poverty minded people, just diverse. You've got your drug dealers, and you've got, your single mothers, young woman, she's like 25, and she has 4 kids that she started having when she was like 13, her best friend. Then they've got this, male friend he's like the activist of the community, always looking out for everybody, very smart, intelligent, honest, and just kind of, the story goes into some of the characters' lives that wind up intertwining all of them, trying to help one another out. So I started reading this book, and as Labor Day got closer, that's when it came to me, and I said, hey, this can be my one summer reading book. So that is when I became determined to finish this book before Labor Day ended. And I did finish this book. I spent Sunday, I believe, after I went to church on Sunday, I finished this book. And I probably had maybe 5 or 6 chapters left, equivalent to about 20-25 pages. But it was a very good book. And now that I have finished this book, I can put this in my to donate book. Because even though I love the author, will always be influenced by her, will always feel a special place in my heart for her, because her book kicked off my book club, which was just great fun. I miss being a part of the book club. But this book, although it was a good book, it's not good enough to join that collection of 5 books that I can't get rid of. And whenever I move, because my real estate deal kind of got a little snag, so we haven't moved yet, but I'll do a video on those 5 books that I can't and probably will never get rid of. I'll probably find a way to, get them finished, or just something to really preserve them, because I love them that much. So anyway, this is what I read this summer. It's only one, but it was good. It was worth it. So let me know, what have you read? If you read the Ida B, I would love to know what you thought about the characters, Brenda, Sharif, Rosa, Vincent. Yeah, it was a really good book. I enjoyed it. So if you read it, I'd love to know what you thought about it. Would you keep it in your collection of books that you can't get rid of? Because I'm sure if you are a book lover, like I'm a book lover, you probably have a set of books that you can't get rid of either. So let me know about it in the comments section. Please rate and subscribe and share these videos. And you can let other book lovers know that there are people out there on YouTube that are talking about the kind of books that they like to read. And I'm also writing the books that you probably like to read as well. And in a future video, I will be talking about my newly released novel, Reconciliation to Hell. I will have a link to my website so that you can check out an excerpt there. Thanks for checking in. Keep coming back, and I'll see you the next time.